Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Robert Scott Perry. I'm talking to you from Portsmouth, Rhode Island. I'm running Robert Scott Perry as a write-in candidate against Jack Reed. He writes John Reed on the primary ballot, or on the election ballot. So where the name Jack or John Reed appears on the ballot, I would like you to put my name, Robert Scott Perry, and fill in a little arrow, because I want to go to Washington to protect your Constitution. Now, since Barack Obama happens to be in town, I'd like to have a quick discussion of one of the reasons why myself, as a regular family guy from Rhode Island, I am just one of you. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy from here. But the way I see it, certain things are basic. Certain laws are basic. We have a law professor, that's President Obama, and we have a senator. So I have to ask you, how do we send soldiers into battle where they are ordered to torture young women, ordered to strip naked Iraqi civilians and soldiers alike, and hit their genitals with electric shocks, to put dogs on naked Iraqi men, to stare at Iraqi men and women alike, soldiers of ours, forced to humiliate people of another country? These are all torture. They're all methods of torture. Torture is against our Constitution. In our Constitution, President Obama, Senator Reed, it says we do not torture. The waterboarding, the nude piling up, the nude humiliation, sticking the dogs on the naked soldiers, all these things that Julian Assange and WikiLeaks told us about, by the way, and that people like Bradley Manning helped us find out about, all these things, all these methods of torture are unconstitutional. If we cannot, within our legal system, prosecute these people, why, Senator Reed and President Obama, shouldn't we join the International Criminal Court? Why shouldn't we sign the International Compact on Human Rights? We have to hold our military hierarchy to the same level of behavior as those of other countries. If we don't do this, we are no better than thugs. And we are not thugs. Why we do what we do, why we take the military actions we take, is to try to make a better world. Is to try to teach human rights and bring equality to people around the world. We mustn't forget, especially myself, a man, speaking to two men, speaking to a Senator, Jack Reed, and a President, Barack Hussein Obama, that women make up half the world, and yet our military has yet to take on as its main short-term mission giving equality to women worldwide. If people of a certain race were kept separate from parts of their own society and made second-class citizens, we would take military action to give them equal rights. How about women? President Obama, you have a house full of women. Senator Reed, I don't know about you in your personal life. I merely say to you, how do we go on having our relationships with men and women in our own country when the women in our own country are the same race as people who in other countries are considered second-class citizens? How do we continue our relationship with Saudi Arabia, with African countries where women don't have the right to vote, with many other Middle Eastern countries where women are not allowed to go out into public without male escort? These are things that we cannot accept as a country. I realize you can call it a cultural difference and try to keep us out of it. And I say to you, we're in it to protect oil. Forget oil. we're in it to protect interests that have to do with big business and the flow of international commerce, screw that. Our CIA, our military, all of our ability to take action across the world, whether it be military action or sometimes State Department type action, cultural exchanges that we can do. There's lots of great things that we can do, all supported by a strong military commitment that women are equal to men. So I speak to you, two gentlemen, a third gentleman or third man, you decide if I'm a gentleman, and I say to you, we cannot send our soldiers, male and female, into war to work for countries, with countries, who make their women second-class citizens. Especially, we cannot send our daughters to assault men in other countries. That's disgusting. We're disgusting for having allowed George W. Bush to do it. And certainly we cannot blame President Obama for that. And as far as you, Senator Reid, that's for you to decide. How much did you put up with? How much did you know about that you didn't tell us about? And if I am Senator Reid, I will tell my constituents if I think that the administration has gone too far. And I expect that of you, should you be the senator instead of me this year. From now on, what we have to do, all of us, is protect the Constitution. Edward Snowden showed us that. The Constitution is not to be fooled with. That's a message I send to you, President Obama, and to you, Senator Reid. Protect the Constitution. It'll work for us. Thank you, gentlemen, and once again, thank you, Mr. President. Let's have a great season. I have a lot more to tell my constituents here in the state. Over the weekend, you'll get it. Thank you for listening.